Welcome to Bloomers in the Garden. I'm Len Schroeder, and on our first segment, it's going to be a real stinker. Get it? Skunks are becoming active, and they can be a real nuisance, and we're going to give you some tips on how to repel them that don't stink in our first segment. I got all the jokes out of the way, Aaron, for the first one.
I hear you.
If you have ornamental grasses in your landscape, it's time to cut them back, and we're going to tell you how in our second segment. Fungus gnats are buzzing all around your houseplants. Here how to control them in segment number 3. It's time to prepare for the coming war with ants. I've seen scouts. Have you? They're coming. They find their food source in your home, and they go back, and they leave a pheromone trail. We're going to explain it all and how to get rid of them and stop them before they start in our fourth segment. And the Philadelphia Flower Show starts today. It is the world's largest indoor flowering show. And hear why you should go and what not to miss in our final segment. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in the garden right after this.
Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden. Fertilome's Triple Action contains 70% neem oil and 0.25% pyrethrins as a concentrate and ready to spray. It is an insecticide, fungicide, and miticide labeled to use on vegetables, fruits, nuts, herbs, spices, and ornamentals. This organic OMRI-listed product controls a wide variety of insect pests and diseases, including aphids, scale, spider mites, whiteflies, rust, leaf spot, and powdery mildew. This insecticide is an all-in-one bottle that will cure just about any problem you may run into throughout the year. Fertilome's Triple Action has been helping gardeners across the country for years. Best to apply in late evening and early morning hours. Mix 1 ounce, which is equivalent to 2 tablespoons in a gallon of water. The best part is, Triple Action may be used up to the day of harvest. So, the next time you are visiting your favorite garden center, ask for Fertilome's Triple Action and expect to have the best-looking plants in the neighborhood.
You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or see and hear us by subscribing to Bloomers YouTube channel. Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley every Saturday. First, wake up with us at 6 a.m. on WNWR The Word at 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. Tune in at 8 a.m. to Bloomers in the Garden Radio on Talk 860 WWDB. A rebroadcast of Bloomers in the Garden Radio is played each Saturday evening at 5 p.m. on The Word, 95.3 FM and 1540 AM. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard throughout the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies, 1250 AM WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden. Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. So what the heck is going on? I guess I smell them before I see them, but there's been more skunk roadkill in the last week than there has been. I mean, we're talking my usual. Maybe they're following me. I don't know. Maybe, but you travel pretty far away.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of them. Yeah, all of them down the turnpike. You smell it now.
Oh my gosh! So what's going on? So skunks, they don't hibernate. They go through a state of what's called torpor. And what that means is that they're kind of hibernating. They're everything. It's like a milder form of hibernation. Everything slows down and the body temperature reduces. And it basically is to conserve energy and food during cold weather, during the winter, basically. And it doesn't it's not like it lasts for a long time. It could be a short time. It could only be a few days, or it could be for a longer period, for I guess a month or so. Now, I think that those guys in, what is it, Hobner Hill, or wherever they take out the groundhog to see a shadow?
I didn't know they had a name.
Oh, yeah. Hobbler's Knob.
I mustn't have. I wasn't deep in the culture like that.
Hobbler's Knob. Well, and they have one in Staten Island.
Grandmama says spring's gonna come when spring comes. Right. So
smart,
yeah.
But I think spring's going to come when the skunks are out.
Okay.
And because what they're doing is males are searching for a mate.
All right.
This is cue the Barry White music.
Show you right. Show you right.
Yeah.
Right on. Right. You silly man. I gotta stop. Sorry.
But that's what's happening. They're looking for, like, let's start a family.
They're getting frisky.
They are getting frisky.
All right.
Like in all types of animals, of course, the ladies have a say. So these wandering skunks are probably males that are getting hit by cars, and that there are, they're different courting techniques. But I know I had a cat one time, and it used to be an outside cat and inside cat, which I found out no longer is acceptable in the I don't know, whatever, the places where you get cats these days.
Okay.
That I had to sign a paper on the cats that I have now. I have 2 cats where I wouldn't allow them outside. I wouldn't declaw them.
Right.
And I said, well, I kind of thought to myself, what's the difference between declawing them if I don't let them outside? Anyway, I would have much nicer furniture now.
Sure.
But any case, I had this one cat. It was a calico, and it was a hunter.
Mm-hmm.
It would bring in things. I think I told a story about it. Brought a rabbit in the house.
Yeah.
It was like, as much as I was like, oh, great, I got to take care of the rabbit incident. But I was like, that's my cat. That's my cat. The hunter brought in a rabbit.
What color was it?
My cat or the rabbit?
The calico. Oh, the calico.
Calico's calico.
The yellow, kind of like
No. Calico's white with little splashes of orange.
Orange.
Yeah, and that where they're all female.
Okay.
There are no male calicos.
All right.
And if you want to argue that, call someone else. That's what I was always told. So this cat is chasing after a skunk about 3 feet behind it, and I'm watching it outside at night, and it's chasing after the skunk, and all I'm thinking is like, oh, the tomato juice thing does not work. And but it gave up. But it was about this time of the year where it becomes, the skunks are becoming active there, and that there are, look on the side of the road,
right?
Smell in your neighborhood. If you smell something, it's been hit. But they generally don't spray unless they're threatened or run over. So the problem is that they'll find places like under a shed, under a deck. That's what I'm afraid of. That they'll go and find a place to call home under a deck. So you got to do things like start hiding remember those lids that you got with the garbage cans? It's time to start using them. Because they will crawl, they'll get into stuff, they will go after your trash, pet food, like you feed pets outside, bird feeders. They'll even go after bird feeders. Not so much that they can climb so well, but if you're like a ground feeder of birds or squirrels, they will. They will. Like their fat reserves are pretty much winding down. They spent all fall basically getting fat so they could live off of those fat reserves in that state of torpor, that semi-hibernation state. So now what are they doing? It's because it's mating season, and it's a specific season. It starts now. It's February through March, and they're just looking for the ladies. But I find this amazing. Like, so skunks, how long? So what did we just see recently on the news that it was the governor of Minnesota says that mothers are not to be they're inseminated females or something like that. I know the world is crazy.
Yeah.
But considering skunks, the gestational period for a skunk would be how long? So mates, has babies.
I would say somewhere around like 3 months, maybe.
3 months. You're close. 60 to 75 days.
Oh, okay.
That to me, that's fast.
Yeah, that's
a
fast.
Quick turnaround.
Yeah, because I only reason why I remember is because in North Jersey we had skunks on the property behind us on a lot that was not maintained well. And
there you go.
I remember I saw one skunk, and then 3 or 4 months later, I saw like 4 or 5.
Yeah,
baby skunks.
There you go.
Well, they weren't even like small, but they were, you can tell they were young.
They stay with their mom for a long time.
Huh.
Like they don't, it's not like you're on your own, kids. And that's interesting. What is a baby skunk called?
I don't know. Skunkette?
Kit.
A what?
A kit.
Like K-I-T-T?
One T.
One T. Okay.
Okay. Skunk kits are born blind and helpless. They rely on their mother for warmth and food. And after about 8 weeks, they begin to explore that. But the mother skunks teach their young survival skills, finding food, avoiding predators, and they stay with their mother until fall. That's a long time. So if they're born in, I don't know, let's say May, right? So we got 2 months, so it's April, May. Yeah, so they're born in May, so they're staying all the way into like October. And if you've ever noticed, it seems like there's a lot of skunk activity in October. One, because they're fattening up for the winter, but also because now you have moms saying, all right, get out of the nest. It's hard enough to take care of myself.
Right.
Yeah, parents get that way.
Yeah, I know it. I know it.
They are omnivores, so they eat both plant and animal. So one of the big things, if you have scratch marks in your lawn, or you have like where it looks like digging marks in your lawn, a lot of times that's skunks going after grubs that are overwintering in your lawn. So that's earthworms they'll do, but the grub thing is make sure you put down a grub control. And it's not so, like, look, if you don't give a darn about your lawn, but you don't want to have skunks, still put the grub control down. Now, we prefer that you have a nice lawn that includes green grass, not crabgrass, that you do the whole thing where you're going to feed and everything else. But killing the grubs in your lawn will prevent the skunks from coming to try to dig them up. And also other types of, like, for instance, moles and, let's see, moles are meat eaters. So moles are the ones that will go in, tunnel through your grass, and that's where you turn your ankle when you're walking through the lawn.
Yep.
That they're going after the grubs. And that voles, remember this from other shows, everybody, those of you that listen. So moles begin with an M, so they're meat eaters, and voles begin with a V, and they're the ones that eat the roots because they're vegetarians. Easy to remember, but we'll remind you, don't worry. So what do? What about repellents? Absolutely, repellents do work, but they have to be put down on a regular basis. And remember, with most, if not all repellents, what you're doing, you're trying to scare them somewhere else. You're modifying behavior so that they're not going into your yard, but going somewhere else. So it's going to be, it's something that you just need to do. And if you're putting the repellents down, you need to redo it like every other week. And you just need to make sure that they don't think it was a one-and-done episode. You have to have them associate your yard, your home, your deck, your shed with that scent that they don't like. And one of the things that are in that, Repelzol is a repellent from bonide, and it works very, very well. And it works on a whole bunch of different things with deer, raccoons, rabbits, squirrels, skunks. And it has natural ingredients, and it can last up to, there's that key word, up to 60 days. It's probably, with rainy season in the spring, it's probably going to last maybe 10 days. So do it every 2 weeks. And what's in it is whole egg solids. It's mostly cloves and garlic oil, and that they get that, and it gets up into their nose. And all of these animals that we're talking about have really strong scent glands, and it irritates those scent glands, and that it makes them want to, like, it basically makes them want to run, and it gives them a flight response, and they want to avoid that area. So you want to keep doing that. You want to keep doing that on a regular basis. Don't It's not one and done. It's not one, especially with deer. If the repel's going to do everything, keep it out in your garden where you want to protect, so you don't have to remember to go into your garage or your shed or whatever. And that just pick it up and use it every time you walk by it. That's the best way. That's the best way. Now, again, there are some other things that work. Dried blood is a fertilizer that's used, and it really is dried blood, but it's high in nitrogen. And as an organic fertilizer, people use it for that, but it also repels certain animals. So, and skunks would be one of them. I don't know if this is true. This could be an internet thing. I don't really know. But Pine Sol, it's not labeled for a skunk repellent, but it is said that it repels skunks. So if you're smelling them, they're looking for a mate, and you don't want to house a family of skunks around your deck, around your pool, around your shed, or anywhere around your home, because nobody wants to get surprised at night and go into work the next day with a new cologne. So again, start using the repellents. And again, they're just looking to do their thing. They're looking to raise a family, and they're looking for a mate, but they're looking for a place where the kits can be raised. So on our table, if you watch us on YouTube, and if you don't, look us up on YouTube, Bloomers in the Garden, and you'll see our video. And we have Daisy the skunk represented on our table. It's a nice concrete statue. Skunks are kind of cute when they're little. But then if they're always going to spray you, I don't know, then you can forget it. All right. If you have questions about skunks, about moles, about voles, about rabbits, about deer, about cats and dogs, just give us a call on Bloomers in the Garden hotline. You know that number, 609-685-1880. Leave a message with your question. We'll call you back. We'll give you the answer. And if we use it on the air, you can get a Bloomers in the Garden t-shirt. All right, we'll be back in the garden right after these messages. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Espoma Indoor Houseplant Food is the ultimate all-purpose plant food for growing bigger houseplants with healthy green foliage and beautiful blooms. Its rich blend of natural proteins enhanced with kelp extracts, humic acid, and Espoma's proprietary set of beneficial microbes. And because it's made in Espoma's state-of-the-art, solar-powered manufacturing facility, its quality is guaranteed. Espoma liquid houseplant food is ideal for pothos, palms, fiddle-leaf figs, monstera, and more. Just add half a cap in a quart of water and use every 2 to 4 weeks. An 8-ounce bottle makes up to 24 quarts. Feeds instantly and adds beneficial microbes. 100% natural and organic, safe for people, pets, and the planet. Visit your local independent garden center and select from Espoma's entire line of Espoma liquid plant foods: cactus food, orchid food, African violet food, tomato food, super bloom booster, and more.
What time are we at right now?
If you're like me, then you absolutely love birds. The Bird Sanctuary at Bloomer's Home and Garden Center has you covered. They're dedicated to the care and feeding of wild birds of all sorts. Want to bring more birds to your yard? Then you got to see this place. Bloomers has a huge flock of feeders, birdhouses, birdseed, and much, much more. Want to feed the birds and not the squirrels? They have this absolutely cool bronze bird feeder that will drive those sneaky squirrels nuts. They'll be moving to the next door neighbor in no time. OMG. Bloomers have these absolutely adorable birdhouses that will turn your yard into the perfect bird B&B. They carry all types of wild bird seed, suet, seed cakes, and mealworms. Bloomer stocks, Lyric, Coles, CNS, Pine Tree Farms, and much, much more that will keep those beautiful birds coming back for more. Bloomer's Home and Garden Center is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County. For more information and directions, check them out on the web at bloomers.com. Bloomer's Home and Garden Center, you got to see this place.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. So, the weather's been nice. You're jonesing a little bit to get outside and do stuff. Well, here's one thing you can do. Do you have ornamental grasses? That could be, and like there's some ornamental grasses that look like grass that really aren't grass, and that this is like tomato. So, liriope is what I call it. It's a grass, gets a purple, more of a ground cover grass, and gets a purple bloom on the top of it. Usually the variegated is the most popular. Now, I call it liriope. Some people call it liriope. Those of you down south call it monkey grass. It's also known as lily turf. But no matter what you call it, you got to treat it the same as a grass. So this could be a low grass like that, or also if you've got a hardy pampas grass, or you've got some of the other varieties of pennisedum and hardy pennisedum and such, it's time to cut them back. And why do I cut them back? Why do you want me to cut them back now? The reason is because all that dead grass that you're looking at right now that we left there for the birds and for other animals and things, that the grass is going to grow from the middle, and all that dead stuff is going to be around it, and it's just basically going to look dead. But if you cut it back now and it's just maybe starting to green up on the inside, because all that old grass is not going to turn green. You've got to cut that back. So the most important thing is that there's a thing called the crown of the plant. All plants have a crown, and that it's where it comes out of the ground. It's like the point of no return, to where if you cut it below the point that it grows from, you're going to kill it. So you want to make sure that you don't cut it real low to the ground, because if you cut it real low to the ground, that may be a problem. You may be cutting it off, and like, I don't know if you ever cut your lawn and you scalp your lawn and all the grass dies. That's the same type of thing. So you want to go down, you want to go easy, maybe leave it 6 inches of stubble, and then it will outgrow that, and that'll cover that up. That's probably the best way to go. So again, not too short. Now, shears. Don't fear the shears, right, Aaron?
That's right.
Don't fear the shears. And there are two types of shears. And like, we don't even sell them or recommend them. There's an anvil type of shear where it's a sharp blade and it's a flat surface, and where you basically pinch the sharp blade against that flat anvil metal surface, and it crushes before it cuts. Throw those out. Give them to a neighbor you don't like. Do something like that, because those are going to hurt your plants, no matter if it's grasses or if it's a fruit tree or if it's an evergreen. You want to have a scissor type where the blades cross each other, just like a pair of scissors does, and that you're going to make that cut so that it's a nice, sharp cut. So again, you're using a scissor type of pruners to make the cut on your grasses.
I always like to liken my pruning and my clipping to the samurais. You know, everything that they did was sharp. It's clean.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, the hori style.
That's right. You'll remember that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So again, you want to make sure you're getting it, and getting it clean. Some people, they take their lawnmowers and they ride over it at the highest rate. I don't recommend that.
No bueno.
But
that actually screwed mine up my lawnmower, man, because I didn't realize.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's not like fescue. It's
No.
although there is an ornamental fescue. So again, all right. So you go ahead and you get it cut. You make sure that you don't go too low, but you're going to make it clean up, make it look nice, and you're going to get rid of all those cuttings. Then you're going to take a Spoma plant tone. Okay, you hear me? A Spoma plant tone. Why? Because it is pH neutral. It is a great organic fertilizer that has a long residual, and that you're going to put it around what's called a drip line. So what's the drip line? Basically, the far edge of the grass plant now that you've got it trimmed. That's the drip line. On a drip line on a tree, like so say you have a tree and you throw a gigantic tarp over your tree, wherever that tarp would hang down, that's the drip line around your plant. So that's easiest way to remember it. So you're going to use a Spoma plant tone fertilizer around the drip line and feed each one. And that they'll be amazing. They'll grow great. There'll be less disease issues. And they'll just really come out nice and green rather than like a yellowish or a pale green. You know, you have to feed these things. They need to eat. All of your landscape plants you need to feed. They are deplenished of nutrients in the soil because they're in the same place. So you need to replace those nutrients with fertilizing. It's not an option. Fertilizing is not an option. So make sure you go out there and you feed your plants. While you're at it, you can use Hollytone on all of your other landscape plants. A Spoma Hollytone is a little bit acidic, the way that most evergreens and landscape shrubs like it. So again, cut back your grasses, cut them back to about 6 inches, and then you want to make sure you don't want to cut them too short. Be careful of that. You don't want to cut into the crown. And then you want to feed with a Spoma plant tone all around the drip line. All right, we've got another break coming, and we'll be right back in the garden right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. We are proud to announce that Bloomers in the Garden has partnered with Renewal by Andersen of Greater Philadelphia, Delaware, South Jersey, and Southern Maryland. Renewal by Andersen is the top window and door company in the United States, specializing in replacement windows and doors. You might be thinking right now, what the heck do windows have to do with gardening? Well, Renewal by Andersen makes this beautiful garden bay window that's energy efficient and made from recycled materials. It's perfect for growing the finest indoor plants possible. When you are looking out your windows filled with plants in your beautiful garden, you don't want to see old windows that are cloudy, warped, or even rotting. That's why people in the horticulture community love Renewal by Andersen. Not only do we want our gardens to be beautiful, but their homes as well. Renewal by Andersen participates in horticultural events such as flower shows, earth days, and eco fairs. To get more information and set up a free home consultation, please visit www.philadelphiawindow.com and be sure to tell them Bloomers in the Garden sent you.
Is she gone?
Nope, she's still standing there.
What is she doing?
I think she's watching the grass grow.
That's our job.
I know, right? She's watching the grass grow, the flowers grow. Ooh, look, the trees are growing.
Can't say as I blame her. Remember where she bought all this stuff.
Duh, bought us there too.
Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Find us online at bloomers.com.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. So those little specks flying around your bananas are different than those little specks that are hovering around your houseplants. So here's the thing. We were having a supervisors meeting. That's basically where all the department managers, we get around and we, some people say it's a bull session. Some people say it's a complaint meeting. Some people, we actually get things done. But while we're having that meeting, 3 customers in a row came in all about needing something to control the fungus gnats around their houseplants. So just like in the first segment, we were talking about seeing skunks everywhere. Here we see another thing that all of a sudden the gnats are all around your houseplant. So if you have that same issue, you make sure you listen up. By the way, we are on podcast, so you can go and hit this segment and go back on podcast or YouTube, and you can listen to it again. So let's just get fruit flies out of the way. They're not fruit flies and fungus gnats, and the gnats around your houseplants are 2 different things. Fruit flies are a species that's same as it's in the family, let's say, of the common housefly. It's dark. Usually, it's a dark color, and then it has it has some brown in it. But I mean, you got to have really good eyes to see that. Not to mention its red eyes. So they get their name because they just go around ripening fruit. So fruit flies, that's why. And that a lot of times it's not that they're in your house, is that they're catching a ride on some of the produce that you're buying, especially like bananas. That, again, it's something that they can be around the entire year, mostly that they are going to be active when it's warmer or in the fall. One fun fruit fly fact, okay, they begin eating immediately after they are born. So it's not like, mom doesn't do anything. It's like, here's a banana. And one female fruit fly can lay as many as 500 eggs in 40 days.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I know, right? No wonder Another interesting fruit fly fact, fruit flies are a valuable assets to scientists performing genetic research, since fruit flies and humans share, ready for this, 75% of those genes which cause diseases.
Get out of here.
There you go. So Jeff Goldblum and the fly. See, that's why it happened.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. That's not what you're seeing around your houseplants, though. Fungus gnats. Fungus gnats are what you're seeing. And that it's going to be something where fungus gnats are dark gray or black. They're stupid flyers. It's like they can't fly well at all. Or fruit flies can move around, and they've got some, they've got some panache about them. Fruit flies look like they're just drunk. Okay, so and they feed on fungi, algae, and decaying plant matter. So like if you have a plant that has peat moss in it and that peat moss is starting to decay, it's going to be eating and eating that, and then also lays its eggs there too. And they get to be full grown in 2 weeks. So, and then the cycle happens all over again. They can be a pain. Usually if you're keeping your plants too wet, that's going to happen. So they only live, though, for 10 days. So I don't feel sorry for them. Females lay 200 eggs in the cracks and crevices of growing media at a time. So again, room temperature is perfect. Your home is a perfect breeding ground for fungus gnats. Congratulations. Okay. And a lot of times it's during winter that you'll see them. So like we're at peak season, that it's more time. The more time you spend in towers, the more you're going to notice them. But again, it's overwatering your plants and not letting them to dry out, because if there's nothing there that's moist, they're not going to stay around. So moisture levels in the plant are going to keep them. But then what do you do if the most tropical and house plants are moist but not wet? So what do you do? All right, here's what you need to do. You'll need to allow the surface of the soil to dry out between waterings. That's first. Then you need to use a pyrethroid type. It's what we call thrins, okay, a type of insecticide on houseplants. You want, ingredients. Now, if you look on the bottle, say active ingredients, and you'll notice that all of these have the last end of the type of pesticide as a thrin. So here's one: bifenthrin, cyfluthrin, permethrin, lambda-cyluthrin. All of those are what you want. They are basically a man-made chemical that mimics a natural insecticide. But the better part is that man has created so that it lasts longer. Now, short-term things like I was like, I'm going to spray it with insecticide of soap, or I'm going to do neem. It doesn't last long. That's a problem. You want something that's going to last long because, again, they're breeding so fast that you can't keep up with killing the adults, so they stop breeding, so you're always treating it constantly. You never seem, and the stuff doesn't seem to work. But what you're doing is you're killing one generation at a time, and you can't do that. The best choice. Now, New Jersey eliminated imidacloprid in large bottles that we used to use on trees and shrubs and roses. And it's just stupid. People ruined it for all of us. But they allowed a small houseplant version of imidacloprid is allowed to be sold. And that has a long residual. It's great for your houseplants because it will control a whole host of insects because it works systemically, works through the plant system to make it poisonous to the insect. But it also will stay on the soil because it's applied to the growing medium, and therefore it will kill multiple generations of fungus. Now that you're looking for, like Bonide has one, it's called systemic houseplant insect control. You're looking for something that imidacloprid is the active ingredient. That's imidacloprid is the active ingredient. And you want to apply that. Some people say, well, what if I get say like a Venus flytrap? Will that work? It's not very efficient. How about pitcher plants? Will they work? It's like, yeah, but again, it's kind of like a redundancy problem where they have to be kept moist, so that's attracting more of the fruit of the fungus gnats, and then therefore it's just a reoccurring cycle. Sundew's worked really well because it acts like a little fly paper. They stick to it, they eat it, but it's more of a fun thing than a reality thing because it's really not going to work. Anyway, if you've got questions about how to control fungus gnats or anything, or you missed something, just please call that hotline. That's 609-685-1880. Leave your question and we'll get you the answer. And if you make it on the air, we're going to send you a free Bloomers in the Garden t-shirt. We'll be back in the garden right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Fertilome's Triple Action contains 70% neem oil and 0.25% pyrethrins as a concentrate and ready to spray. It is an insecticide, fungicide, and miticide labeled to use on vegetables, fruits, nuts, herbs, spices, and ornamentals. This organic OMRI-listed product controls a wide variety of insect pests and diseases, including aphids, scale, spider mites, whiteflies, rust, leaf spot, and powdery mildew. This insecticide is an all-in-one bottle that will cure just about any problem you may run into throughout the year. Fertilome's Triple Action has been helping gardeners across the country for years. Best to apply in late evening and early morning hours. Mix 1 ounce, which is equivalent to 2 tablespoons in a gallon of water. The best part is, triple action may be used up to the day of harvest. So, the next time you are visiting your favorite garden center, ask for Fertilim's Triple Action and expect to have the best-looking plants in the neighborhood.
If you're looking for a specific potting soil for your house plants, rather than just a generic professional potting soil that sometimes, let's just say, it can be a little soggy, the Cape Netic Blend Organic and Natural Indoor Houseplant Mix from Coast of Maine is what you're looking for. It's specially formulated for indoor houseplants and flowers using a coarse coconut core, that's important, perlite and aged bark to optimize drainage and aeration for robust root development. The coconut core is what true gardeners and professionals are looking to replace some of the peat moss that are in most potting soil blends. It adds a little more air around the root system without having it dry out. The peat sometimes gets a little wet. Do you have any fungus gnats flying around? That happens too. So if you've got the coconut core in your mix, it's something that's going to be better certainly for indoor houseplants. So whether you're growing peace lilies, spider plants, philodendrons, monsteras, or other popular or exotic houseplants, this unique compost-free blend provides the optimum structure and benefits for nurturing strong, beautiful indoor plants. And again, that's the Cape Netic Blend Indoor Houseplant Mix by Coast of Maine. Look for it at your local garden center. Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. So, okay. Aaron and I were talking about how some of our coworkers, whether they listen to the show or not. Here is a way that we'll find out. You ready?
What's up?
All right. So I brought in cupcakes into the store to hand out, that they were for a party the night before and that they were in little plastic things. And my future father-in-law just threw them all in a box, so they got all turned over, so all the frosting was sticking to the top of the lids. There were a few that were upside, but there was a lot of them, so it didn't really matter. So I gave one to Sandy. Sandy and Abby were going to split one, and I grabbed one, and lo and behold, what do I see running around the outside now? The outside of the container was an ant.
My wife, she was sitting in the office the other day and said she saw one just on the desk out of nowhere. Just random.
At
no, at our house.
At your house.
At our house. Just random.
Well, that's a scout. Now, so I didn't say a word to Sandy and Abby, and I just let them eat their. I don't know if there was a little, Jimmy that was sitting on top of that.
Oh, my goodness. Trifling.
No.
Jimmy's.
So,
that's what. I forgot. That's a North Jersey.
It's a South Jersey.
South Jersey term.
Sprinkles
yeah.
are North Jersey. Yeah. Hoagie sub.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
It takes a while to be converted. So I went and I crushed the ant with my finger, and I ate the. I didn't throw it away. I ate the thing. It wasn't on the inside.
Oh my
It was on the outside. So it was scouting, and that's what's going on right now. Right now, the ants are going to be coming back, and they're scouting. They're saying, all right, they go and they leave a pheromone trail that the other ants follow to the food. Have you ever seen like those, nature documentaries where the ants are like moving their antennas and stuff? They're telling the other one that's like, up on the counter, he left a teaspoon of sugar. Let's go. And so what happens is that they're right now. If you kill the scouts, or better yet, if you use ant traps. Now, I'm not talking about necessarily ant traps, ant baits. It's mostly like we were watching a Looney Tune cartoon before we went on air. That's another show. And that all the time in the Looney Tune cartoon, there's the borax. Like it would show the thing like Acme. But borax is what is actually the solution that's in the ant bait. And that they go and they eat it. They think, oh, look, where we're at. They bring it back to the hive all proud, and they give it to their queen, and it feeds the queen, and then it kills the entire hive. that's what you want to do. So the bait traps work. They work. Low toxicity for humans and animals, but fatal to ants. They eat it, and again, it interferes with their digestive system, and it kills them slow. It's not like it's an immediate death like it would be for like a spray, but that's what you want to start putting out now. Not wait till you see them, because if you see one, there's 1,000 out there. That you want to start now. Set up those ant bait traps now. Don't wait,
right?
Because those ants are trying to find, that queen that it is ready to breed, and the rest of the colony, the worker ants, all want to start that hive back up and humming.
Yep.
And that your countertops may be where they're getting their food, or by your dog bowl, or somewhere. But you want to put those traps and those bait traps now. And again, it's not going to trap them per se, but it's going to give them the bait that they bring back to the hive. Now, if you see them and you've got an issue, this goes back to what we talked about in the previous segment about thrins. It's a thrin issue. So deltamethrin, cefluthrin, it all works. But the bait is the best thing to do. But if you miss it, it's too late. Complete Insect Killer right here. If you're looking at us on YouTube, please subscribe and also ring that bell. So Complete Insect Control is a way to spray. It has a great long-lasting residual, which is incredible. I've used it for everything from ants to you name it. All the creepy crawly ants like crickets and stuff like that. It's a household ant control, but it also will work outside. So if you use that as an interior perimeter spray, so by the windows, by the threshold of the door, those types of plants, garage works great. It will control all those those creepy crawlies, like I say. Now, if you want to do it, this is also a must do. This is Danielle's already got me on. It's like, do you have the ant stuff? It's like, you don't have the ant stuff. I'll go get it. It's like, I have the ant stuff. You do a perimeter treatment around the foundation of your house of ant. Basically, it's a granular insecticide, and that it's a granular that you just basically do around the perimeter of your house, not on the lawn, the literal foundation, around the foundation of your house, so it stops any new ants from coming in. If you have ants that are in your basement or in your crawl space or somewhere where there's a nest in there, you have to stop them from the inside. But the new ones you can stop by putting a perimeter treatment around the foundation of your house. And again, it's going to be like a granule. It's going to have a fairly long residual. It's going to last about a month. You should start doing that really now. The weather today, we're recording on a really nice day. It's going to get a little colder, but it's 60 degrees today. It's going to hit the 30s back next week. But again, you still need to do it because we're seeing the ants. We're seeing the skunks. Oh. Spring is here. Spring is here. So again, it's time to start that war and conquer the ants before they become an issue. I know I never had a problem like I had last year. And I know that Danielle had the same thing. She goes, I just can't stop. And I came in with the G.I. Joe with all the pesticides and everything else, everything organic that I could think of, anything inorganic, and I wouldn't tell her. But you had issues last year too, right?
Yeah, man, but that bio worked.
Yeah. So again, Bio Advance, the complete insect killer for indoors and outdoors, is an excellent, and it will kill them. It's not the bait, but the bait is used in conjunction with all three of these. It's not going to just do one. So the bait would be the first thing. The second thing would be the perimeter treatment around the house on the foundation. And the third would be have that bottle ready in case you see a large infestation of something and you need to control them and kill them now. I want them dead. All right. We got a question about ants or creepy crawlies, shrubs, trees, or your lawn, because it's getting to be that time. Call the hotline at 609-685-1880. We'll be back right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Here's the dirt on potting mixes. They're not all created equal. Espoma Organic Potting Mix gives roots the ideal balance of air and moisture. It contains a special blend of beneficial mycorrhiza to help grow stronger roots, bigger plants, and more bountiful blooms. Try Espoma Organic Potting Mix indoors and out for all your potted flowers, vegetables, and you'll see why it's the best. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you. Organic potting mix from Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929. Your next houseplant is waiting for you in Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse. Bloomers recognizes that houseplant choices are as important to your interior decorating as the fabric on your couch. The right plant, paired with the perfect container, can bring a dynamic change to your home. A houseplant brings life to your world and connects your home's interior to the greater outdoors. Even a small succulent placed on your coffee table has a way of connecting your living room to the Amazon rainforest. How about an air plant in your kitchen? Looking for an indoor flowering plant to add color to your plant palette? Bloomers has a large revolving assortment of flowering beauties. From aglaonemas to ZZ plants, Bloomers Greenhouse is stocked with your next favorite indoor plant. Bloomers carries a large selection of pottery and containers to match your home's decor and make any of your plants more beautiful. Bloomers experts can help you care for your plants and have the fertilizer, insecticides, leaf shine, and specialty soils you need to grow healthy and happy indoor plants. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse and make every room in your home a living room. Visit bloomers.com for more information. That's bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden. Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Hey, get down here to Philadelphia. The flower show kicks off today. A couple weeks ago, you can listen to our interview with Seth Pearsall, who is the creator, director, and vice president for the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society Philadelphia Flower Show.
You got it. That's it.
Was that good?
You covered it. That's it.
The flower show is running from March 1st to the 9th. I suggest get there early, unless you're going to the Flowers After Hours dance party. Aaron, you could do that. I would be out of my element.
My wife and I we were thinking about it, but then she said, I'm going to Miami. Oh,
she's going to Miami.
Yeah, she's going to Miami. So I'm gonna have the kids with me, guys.
There.
Yeah.
Well, again, that's the end of the show. I can picture it where everybody who's been working the show is there. They let their hair down and they have a great time, and there's alcohol. So, and all of that, and 21 and older, but tickets are $75. So you do have to add that on to your. You have to basically buy the ticket for that. Early morning tours. If you're going to the show, don't miss the early morning tour.
You will see me there.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm on Saturday.
Are you? Okay.
For the early morning photography tour.
All right, so you're going on the first.
I'm sorry.
Because we are recording earlier.
Yes,
so we have to
sorry.
work in the future.
Ahead. Sorry about that.
Yes. No. So the early morning tours are done by people who have experience with the flower show for decades, and that they basically give you the inside dirt and the inside scoop on what to see, what to look for, and what it's all about. And you don't have the crowds. Butterfly Live, we talked about that. It's a butterfly experience. It does require separate tickets. Potting parties, where you get to go and do your own potted plants. It's another thing. There's so much going on, and that they have re-emphasized the educational portion of the show this year. The theme is Gardens of Tomorrow, and this is how they give a paragraph after it. It invites you to explore the future through the eyes of visionary designers, expert gardeners, and passionate green enthusiasts as they merge nature's brilliancy with human ingenuity. That's what we do every week here on Bloomers in the Garden. Anyway.
What is your garden of tomorrow? What is it?
Our garden of tomorrow.
Your commercial. Right?
Let's see. Right now, it's got a lot of leaves and weeds in it, I think. But anyway, make sure you get down there. It is a great time. Philadelphia is a great town. You don't want to miss it. We'll be back in the garden right after this. If you're looking for a specific potting soil for your houseplants rather than just a generic professional potting soil that sometimes, let's just say, it can be a little soggy, the Cape Netic Blend Organic and Natural Indoor Houseplant Mix from Coast of Maine is what you're looking for. It's specially formulated for indoor houseplants and flowers using a coarse coconut core, that's important, perlite and aged bark to optimize drainage and aeration for robust root development. The coconut core is what true gardeners and professionals are looking to replace some of the peat moss that are in most potting soil blends. It adds a little more air around the root system without having it dry out. The peat sometimes gets a little wet. Do you have any fungus gnats flying around? That happens too. So if you've got the coconut core in your mix, it's something that's going to be better certainly for indoor houseplants. So whether you're growing peace lilies, spider plants, philodendrons, monsteras, or other popular or exotic houseplants, this unique compost-free blend provides the optimum structure and benefits for nurturing strong, beautiful indoor plants. And again, that's the Cape Netic Blend Indoor Houseplant Mix by Coast of Maine. Look for it at your local garden center. Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Well, a lot of information on today's show. A lot of information. If you're running over skunks or you're seeing fungus gnats or you're having ants crawling, listen to this show again because all the answers are in there. I'm telling you, come to Philadelphia, stay overnight. The restaurant scene is very hip. The actual flower show is going to take, 4 hours to do. 4 hours, and it just it works, and it gives you that sense of well-being when you go to the flower show. It gets all that cabin fever out of you, and it's just it gives you hope is really what it does. If one thing that you would do on the flower show, Aaron, if you would just do one thing, what would it be?
I probably would do the butterflies live again with my kids because I'm going to be taking them.
That's awesome.
I got to pay a little bit more, but I'm going to enjoy it myself and try to keep my son from swatting.
Yeah. Your kids are how old?
So I have a soon-to-be 7-year-old, and I have a 9-year-old.
Well, Deuce is going to be 7.
Yep.
Ugh. Anyway, he has great kids, by the way. All right, we're going to see you back here the same time next week here in the garden. See you in the garden.